Welcome back to Bayona's RC World. Today's video, we're going to go ahead and get right back on top Flite P51D Mustang. We finally got the fiberglass, the 3/4 ounce fiberglass cloth that just arrived today in the mail, so it's right there on the table. We're going to be utilizing Zpoxy Finishing Resin, the same as we always did with the top Flite P40 Warhawk and also the Cessna 182. So we're going to be doing the same thing, it's just now it's on the top Flite P51D Mustang. So if you like content like this, don't forget to click that like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to leave some comments in the comment section below on what you like, what you didn't like, or what you want to see in the future. Sit back, relax, enjoy the video, and let's get right back into the top Flite P51D Mustang. Alright, so we got pretty much the whole fuselage disassembled. You can see the inside of the cockpit area. This can also be removed by just taking out the screws, but we're just going to leave that there. Yeah, so pretty much that's it. The firewall and engine bay is pretty much already treated, sealed. Alright, and yeah, also remove the air scoop thing in the rear. Start sanding away. Oh yeah, I gotta also remove this. I just put a little cover thing there. That's the flare port right in there. I don't know if you can see that. That goes directly out to the side. Alright guys, so we got the fuselage pretty much all sanded down. Started off with 320 grit sandpaper, just went to town on this, and then we ended up with 400 grit. I could actually went all the way to 600, but I think 400 is just fine. I don't have a lot of imperfections or anything like that on the fuse or anything, or the balsa. Pretty much anything that needed wood filler, I added. And so, you know, should I need to fill something after the glass, I'll use automotive body filler to do that. Very thin layer and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be utilizing some automotive body filler to make the separation, like some of the panels, especially like here in the wing fillet fairing type deal, and also the tail section. Kind of same thing I did with the P40 and also the Top Flight Cessna 182. And so utilize the automotive body filler sparingly throughout the whole model, not to add too much weight. So we're not gonna deck it all out and everything. We're just gonna do what we can to give that effect that we are looking for. For vast majority of the panel lines and everything, I'm going to be utilizing the primer and the chart tape method. I got some 164 chart tape, and this is what's going to be outlining the panel lines on the model. I still have a whole bunch of 1/16 as well, so but because this is only a 1/7 scale, the 164 chart tape would give that correct spacing as far as the panel line thickness is concerned. And so, unfortunately, on the P40 Warhawk, I used the 1/16 chart tape, and so the panel lines are just a little thicker. But you know what? Hey, it is what it is. So I'm really looking forward to that part. I really like doing all the panel lines, and then eventually we're going to get into the rivets as well. And not like the P40 where I just drilled holes. I'm actually going to use the brass tube and the soldering iron method and just slowly and painstakingly go throughout the model and burn in some of these rivets. And so once it's all done being primed, I'm going to give it a few days to fully cure, because you don't want to be going in on the soldering iron and brass tube on freshly primered model and stuff. So you want to get that primer to get kind of hard and properly cured before you start going to town on that. This is the fun part. This is exactly what I like to do. I like to do the finishing portions of this. I mean, from start to finish, it's just been a blast. I love every step of it. I love the process. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been doing this for 42 years now. So it is what it is.
What are all these magnets here for? Now, there's only certain magnets that are actually really there to serve its purpose. The other ones were by accident. So I didn't want to, I already had glued in those magnets, so didn't want to ruin the sheeting and everything by trying to pry those things out, so I just left it there. Okay, so really there's only 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So these two and these two are not there for anything really. And so that's what it is. It's for my simulated tail wheel gear cover or doors. And so once everything is all said and done and this model's all painted, I'm going to airbrush this section, paint it black, give it some three-dimensional depth to look like it's a hole. And yeah, it's really what it is. Since I'm not using a tail wheel, went ahead and did it this way. And so when it's only going to be utilized for display, when we're going to fly, we just pop it off and, you know, go fly throughout the day and everything. And when I want to display it, we'll just pop it back on.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start on the bottom side of the horizontal stabilizer. I went ahead and I cut pieces of fiberglass cloth, which we're going to use to cover each stab or each half of the stabilizer. I went ahead and I also taped up the perimeter all the way around the leading edge, trailing edge, and all that, just to prevent any of the resin from seeping underneath to the opposite side. As well as the tape will act as a separator, pretty much. Once it's all dried, you can come over, bend the tape, and just basically rip the fiberglass off, the excess. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and place this on here, and I got a lot of frayed areas here, so I'm gonna probably have to trim this thing right here. So it is what it is. It don't matter. It's gonna all blend in eventually. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and place this on here just like that. I want to get as much as I can, especially all the way to the lip there. And let's go readjust that there. There you go. Just like that, right there. Maybe I lied. There you go. Got to get some material here. Okay, so just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and mix up a batch of resin, pop it on here, and go to town. Okay, so we got the Fiberglass Resin Zpoxy Finishing Resin in some hot water here, just to go ahead and thin it up slightly, because I am in an AC room, so let that do its thing. And I got my scale here. I'm gonna go ahead and get this ready to mix some finishing resin. I'm gonna hold this here, work it, saturate in this weave. Just like that. Going a little bit past the edges. The main key right now is just to saturate this glass. push all this resin right here to this corner. Now we can come back, can take off some of that resin. So this. Just gonna go ahead and remove this masking tape here. Okay. Same thing, we'll bend this masking tape towards the edge here, so we'll pull it up and we'll bend it on itself right at that edge, and then from there you could just come and tear it off just like that, and it'll come right out. So I'm gonna do this over here. Now this side, because I tucked in the tape behind the elevator wire, I'm just gonna free that here. Okay. So there we go, moving it up and over on itself. Just like that. It just comes off clean. Minus this one right here, because so this one, I just take the blade and just remove this little piece, just like that. And then from here, we can basically remove this as well. This one is in there, so just like that. And then we'll just cut this. Off. All right. And just like that, we have basically clean edge all the way around with a little bit of that resin sealing the edges. Alright. And so we'll come back later with a mixture of finishing resin diluted with a little bit of alcohol, and then we can brush on the trailing edge here. All right, to seal that area once we get the top done as well. All right, so it's the reason why we got the masking tape on there. Keep things nice and neat. All right. We're gonna go ahead and start now on the top portion of the horizontal stabilizer. I went ahead and I already taped up my perimeter. Okay. And so, as you can see, the bottom side. And so, since the bottom is already glassed, I went ahead and went a little bit about, say about 1/8, if anything, over. Okay, so the new glass will overlap the previous glass portion. And when we rip off the tape, rip off the excess, we can just feather edge all that together and blend it in seamlessly, so it'll look perfect. Other than that, once we get the whole tail section fiberglass, then we will start doing the sides of the fuse and then the top, and the glassing of the fuselage will be pretty much done. So we're gonna go here and make sure that we have enough material to go there to there. Alright. Normally I would actually have a plastic spreader, but I totally forgot I didn't get it. And that I ended up using it for body filler. That's okay, but this will work as well. Just making sure we saturate everything here, and then we go a little bit past the edges. Get some of this resin off from here, just like that. So we're gonna have to trim this part just a little bit. Can get a little bit past. There you go. Same deal with the front. Get some of this glass over here, and then we could finish it off. Alright. We're just going to remove some of this resin, because we got enough already on there.
we're just going to get this one around. And since we got all the resin pushed out, everything's all saturated, every single area of the glass, to include the trailing edge with that lip. I just went ahead and pushed down that glass and resin towards the tape, because eventually the tape will be removed and it will tear it along the line. From here, we're just going to go ahead and go to the other side and finish that. Saturate this area here. So we got the right hand side and the left hand side done. So time consuming stuff. Let that completely cure, then we'll come back and then we'll remove all the tape. But this is only the saturation coat portion. Once it gets kind of tacky, then we're going to come back with another mixture of resin and hardener, and we're going to do a skim coat. So it's basically like you're adding body filler to fill the weaves and everything like that. So that's basically what we're going to be doing. Once it becomes a little tacky, all right, you don't want to do it when it's wet, because you know what happens is that the if you wait too long and it's completely dry, it becomes like glass. Then the new resin is not really gonna fill those pores. It's gonna every time you spread it, it's just gonna come right off. All right, so you want to have a good mechanical bond. So right when the resin hardener, when it's tacky, when by touch, then it's just the right timing to go ahead and apply the skim coat, so that the new resin will be able to grab a hold of the surface and go into the weaves, and when you're pushing down and all. So what I'm trying to do is I want to get my glass laid out without ruining it. So I think we're good about here. If I were to cut this. All right. I need to go get a tube to roll this fiberglass up, so I'll be right back. My pretty cat. My baby.
What? You want to come inside? You want to say hi to everybody? Say hi to everybody. Say hi, everybody. My name is Cleo, and I'm the baby. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. You say hi to everybody. Say hi, everybody. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. So the reason why we got the masking tape is because I glassed the bottom of the fuselage on this one here. I also glassed the horizontal stabilizer, the bottom and the top. And so when I'm putting the new glass, in this case the side of the fuse, I didn't want this excess any resin to go on to the previously glassed surface. What I did was I gave it a little bit of an overlap. Okay, so when I take off the masking tape, right at the edge here, what I'll do is I'll pull the masking tape up to that edge, and then I'll kind of bend it up a little bit, and just do this number, and then from there you can tear. Basically, you're tearing the fiberglass, tearing it off, and it produces a straight line, clean line, and then from there you can come back when you were doing the sanding, and then sand everything and blend everything in. Being the fact that this is overlapped on the previous glass, so it's not gonna hurt anything if you feather all that in, especially we have a little bit of resin on there. And so I do that to include all this. So what I do is I'll just bend the tape all the way into the edge there, and once it gets there, it'll basically allow me to tear that off. On this one I gotta clean it up just a little bit more, but that's what it is basically. And it just so I don't get all, like for example right here I have I didn't do the vertical fin just yet, so if I didn't put any masking tape here to block that off, I'll eventually have a lot of excess glass that has resin just flopping over and sticking on here and everything like that. So it just gives the job, keeps everything in control, keeps everything nice and clean. See, so I'm just peeling it off just like that. Alright, so that's basically why I put the masking tape on there. Keeps everything clean. So anytime you have a start and a stop, you place the masking tape there so that you can go ahead and basically clear it off, you know, just tear it off instead of coming back and trying to clean all the the fiberglass off by using an X-Acto blade. You know, it's just gonna be a mess. So that's pretty much why. Yeah, so just like that, it's the reason why I put the masking tape. It's just to keep my work clean. You don't have to do this. You know, this is just me personally, and I just like to keep what I do. Just like clean work. All right, so I just bend it up, and you see, it just rips right there, right at that seam. Minus this one right here. So now I just gotta come back here and take that off. But other than that, just bring it all the way up. Part right here. So I got that off. So I'm just gonna clear this right here so you can see. So I'm just gonna bend the masking tape down towards the edge, and then it just tears off. Okay, so as you can see, I got this whole section is still clean. So the new glass can go here, and then I'll put masking tape on this side, and I'll overlap a little bit on the joint here. And once that's dry, we'll rip it off, and then nice and clean. But yeah, that's the reason why we got the masking tape on here. I just don't like to see resin and glass stuck all over the place, you know. So same thing here. We're just going to bend the masking tape up to the lip, and then it tears it off. Yeah. So, of course, because we're going to be glassing this side, prior to actually glassing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of sandpaper here, and I'm going to just kind of feather this line and kind of blend it in just slightly. That way, there's no actual hard line there when the glass is applied. Okay, so as you can see the difference, night and day. You got the glass surface on glass side. There's no mess on this side. And not just that, but we control how this seam looks. You got patches and globs of resin and glass stuck to the opposite side, where now I'm over here having to sand a whole perfectly sanded fuse. I'm over here now trying to sand all that resin off, you know? So, whole reason why I do this. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and now cover the vertical fin. So after we cover this side and then the right hand side, that would complete the whole glassing of the fuselage. Okay, you notice how I got the tape, the perimeter, the border, all that, the leading edge, and over here. And the reason why I got all this fiberglass, this excess over there, is because if you ever had fiberglass, you know that all these ends, the frayed ends, if you were to really just line that up on the edge here and start pushing your resin over there, all that frayed ends are going to start clumping off, you know, coming off and by strands and clogging up everything, and it just becomes a mess. And so we're not going to go all the way up here with the resin. We're just going to go right and stop at the tape, so it keeps everything nice and neat. Just keeping it nice and smooth. Getting it all out to the edge. Alright. Just like that. I go into detail on the glassing and stuff on the previous videos. I don't want to sound like a broken record type deal. I know a lot of people can be like, yeah, just go ahead and show it on here, because not everybody's going to be going backtracking, you know, in all my videos. So, and they want to see it done on the model that they also are trying to build. So for example, reason why you're probably on this channel right now and watching this video is because you are building the same model. So I got it. Completely understand. Okay. So this one right here, I want to make sure to keep this down. All right.
and we're gonna go ahead and epoxy the front portion of the canopy on here. Okay, and then once we get that canopy on here, we're gonna use a little bit of body filler, automotive body filler, and we're gonna blend the canopy into the fuselage. And once that's all said and done, then we can go ahead and mask everything to include the windshield, and then get the whole fuselage primered up. So right now the whole fuselage is ready for primer. I just totally forgot that I had to install the front windshield first so I can blend everything in. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do right now. We're just waiting for that to dry. I'm going to go grab the front portion of the canopy and some 30-minute epoxy and some tape, and we're going to go ahead and secure that to the front, and yeah, get that all said and done and let it cure, and then we'll come back and put the body. So what we're going to do now is we're going to epoxy that on there. I already scuffed the inside. Everything here is all scuffed up, and we're going to go ahead and use 30-minute epoxy for that. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and line it up with my marks. Make sure it's all pushed down. Let's see what this. I could use T-pins to hold this thing down. One side done. Just like that. That's good enough. Because from here, we will get some body filler. We're going to stuff the outside portion of this frame, and then we're going to get the body filler and we're going to blend it in. So we just got to make sure that it's being pushed down. So I got to get more tape here. Put tape right here. Just like that.
also do is to verify that. So I'm gonna take all this damn masking off, because I need to verify and make sure that the main canopy will butt up against this thing clean. Because if that thing dries up before that happens, we're screwed. Okay. So that's in there. Close this. Oh, you see? We would have been screwed. Let's just lift this up a little bit. So just like that. Now my canopy is lined. Let's go push this back down. Push this side back down. Good from there. This side is lifting up. Why? Maybe it's too tight. Maybe it's too tight here. There you go. Alright, there you go. That looks better. Alright, there you go. Now the canopy is aligned. You see all the way around the canopy. For the most part, it's aligned there, it's aligned there. Alright. Alright, guys. Alrighty. So we got pretty much the canopy glued in place with 30-minute epoxy. I went ahead and I sanded the bottom portion of the frame with I'm just using I think this is 120 grit sandpaper. Yep, 120, just to get it all nice and rough, so that the body filler would stick on here too. Then I went ahead and I cleaned it off. Now that I touched it, I got to clean it again. So normally I would use wax and grease remover or denatured alcohol or alcohol. Unfortunately, I just realized I don't have any of them, and so I'm just using regular Windex to clean off my surfaces and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much what we got going on right now at this point. And so I'm gonna go ahead and mix up a small batch of Bondo. It's pretty much what we're using here, just from Home Depot, and mix it up, and then we'll go ahead and apply it. But before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna mask a little perimeter around here so that we can control and get the body filler to that specific line, just so that the body filler is just not, you know, all over the place. So I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. About at least 15 minutes sanding, so it's not bad, not bad at all. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take off the tape. I'm gonna sand that just a little bit, and then once I take this tape off, we're gonna just feather that into the side of the fuselage. Try to get this tape off. Get this tape off. So for the most part, the reason why we did this is to just basically to blend the front canopy into the fuse. And so now from here, I'm just gonna go ahead and now feather this rest of the body filler into the fuse right here, so it's everything just one piece. As far as the panel lines and stuff like that, we'll do that with the chart tape, and we'll do all that, you know, so let's wait. So from here, I'll just take something flat, piece of wood, and I'm going to use some 120 grit sandpaper. I'm just going to put it on a piece of wood here like that, and I'm just going to lightly go over that area, because you remember we already final sand the fuse, so I'm going to try not to really hit this area because I don't want to blow through the fiberglass.
just like that. Just blending it in. Just like that. It's going to be doing that for the rest of it. Just blending it into the side of the fuse. And then from there we'll come back with 320 or even 220 on the same flat stick type deal. That way we're not making any warps or indentations and stuff. And then from there we just get this thing all nice and smooth. Just like that. Wipe it off real good. And it'll be just like that, guys. So this is all, there's no edge here. It feels just like part of the fuse going all the way up. Now this front end, I'm gonna go ahead and blend that in as well here. Blend this in here, and we'll be done. We'll be done with this, and then we'll go ahead and mask up this window, remove this back canopy, and then mask everything up, and let's go primer up the fuselage. This is my tack rag cheesecloth. Basically grab all the dirt, dust, primary. We'll be utilizing Linoleum 2X primer. Since I'm not really utilizing automotive based paints on this one. But I will be topping it off of automotive clear coat. So. Alright, I'm going to start on the bottom first.
guys for sticking around all this time, especially after the 2 years that this has been sitting, not doing anything. Thank you for still being here, especially me coming back to the channel. And just want to go ahead and wish everybody out there Happy New Year for 2026, and hopefully 2026 is good to everybody out there. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, don't forget to click that like, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to comment. Let me know what you like, what you didn't like in regards to the video. And from there, we'll basically see you on the next video. Shee-shee!